Sing unto Yhwh, let all the earth call. Bless his name and show forth his salvation from day to day. Declare his glory amongst the...
Shalom, shalom, Israel. This is Brother Ahayah here. Got another video based off the comments in this video right here. Told the brother that Hayah means to exist, and Ahayah means I exist, whatever, in the first person, and he told me that I am incorrect. Okay, but I'm going to prove to you that I am correct, and that if you're calling on the name of Hayah, it's not even a name, it's a verb, it's an action. You're not calling on nothing. Okay, and we're going to prove that you're calling on nothing when you say Hayah, Hayah. You're just saying I exist, or I be, and that's all that you're saying. Okay, it's not the Most High's name. It's not written. The Most High's name is written in Exodus 3:15. It is Yhwh, and we're going to break down why it is not Hayah. Okay. All right. Right here, Ahayah. Those who say the name is Ahayah. Ahayah is represented by the letters Aleph, right? The Aleph right there, but it has a class vowel under it. That's where they get the Ah from, Ahayah. Okay. It is a first person singular imperfect form of the verb to be. First person, right? First person imperfect, right? What does imperfect means? It means that it is incompleted action. It is not a completed action. It is an incomplete action, okay? Eyeh, this Hebrew word in question, is written from right to left. The grammatical structure indicates an ongoing or future action, suggesting I am being or I will be. Why? Because it is imperfect, ongoing action. All right? If it's perfect, that means that the action has been completed. All right, now let's get into this word right here. All right, Hebrew words. Now, Hebrew verbs, right? Hebrew verbs. What is the verbs? The verbs are right here. When you go look up and it says right here, these are the verbs, right? The verbs. Hayah. It tells you right here, verb. Okay, so now different benamim forms a different conjugation, which you get different words off of that verb. Different nouns, adjectives off of that verbs, right? So let's go back to go back to here. Hebrew verbs are different forms due to a system of binyanim, verb patterns and conjugations. These binyanim derive from a three-letter root, alter the verb's meaning and voice: active, passive, causative, right? Because if you have a cause stem, which is the simplest form, it is active. Okay. Additionally, verbs are conjugated to indicate person, gender, and number, resulting in a variety of forms of a single root verbs, right? Verb patterns. These are different patterns of conjugation, each with its own semantic nuance and voice: active, passive, causative. There are several major benayim in biblical Hebrew: call, nafal, pil, pu'al, hifil, hofal, and hipiel. Each one indicates something different, a different conjugation of that sheres root, which is the verb stem. Conjugation. Hebrew verbs are highly inflected, meaning they change form to reflect person, gender, and number. For example, a verb will change depending on whether the subject is masculine or feminine, first, second, or third person, or in singular and or plural. With each binyan, specific vowel patterns and prefixes, suffixes are used to indicate tense and other grammatical features, right? And some roots have letters that can cause variations in vowel patterns during conjugation, leading to further complexity, and they're known as weak verbs, right? Okay. Now, Hayah, right? The Hebrew root word Hayah, meaning to be, has several verb forms. Why? Because it's a verb. And after this, we're going to see what exactly a verb is and does. Several verb forms depending on tense, person, and gender. The most common forms include Hayah for masculine singular, Hayetah for remember the previous video I said the I at the end makes it feminine. Hayetah for feminine singular, and Hayeti for first person singular, and that would be masculine. And other forms include Hayetah with a hard A for first person masculine singular, Hayit for second person feminine singular, Yhwh for third person plural. The verb Hayah 1961 is a basic verb in Hebrew meaning to be, to become, or to come to pass. It is a strong root verb, meaning it generally follows predictable patterns of conjugation. Okay? So it's either going to be in the hinfall, costume, etc. The verb is often used to indicate existence, right? That's why, I will be. You know what I'm saying? I exist. But it can also signify becoming something, or something becoming to pass. That's why I told him right down here. Hayah, to exist. Ahayah, I exist. Or Eyeh, I exist. That's exactly what I told him. He told me that I am incorrect. But he is incorrect. And later on down here, he says to make a video with your evidence and all that. I already posted one video that he erased it. But as you can see, then make your own video to show your evidence. So here is that video. Okay? And it goes down here to show you different forms of the cause stem. The most basic, simplest form of that verb is used. Right? And it's past tense. It's a past tense verb. I'm going to show you everywhere it's used. It's past tense. Hayah, this is the third person masculine singular form, meaning he was or it was. Hayeta, third person feminine singular, meaning she was. Hayeti, first person singular form, meaning I was. Hayeta, Hayeta, with a hard A. As in like alphabet. Hayeta. This is the second person masculine singular form, meaning you were. Hayit, this is the second person feminine singular form, meaning you were. Yhwh, this is the third person plural form, meaning they were. The verb hayah can also appear in other stems like nifal and in different tenses imperfect participle. It's to express nuances of being, becoming, or happening. For example, the first person singular imperfect form is Eyeh, which can mean I am or I will be. The word is also used in the famous phrase Yhwh asher Eyeh, which is translated I am that I am. And so he goes into there and says that, okay, 1961 is the root word of Yhwh, so his name is Hayah. But Hayah is a verb, right? As you can see, Hayah, verb, right? So what is a verb, right? A verb is a word that describes an action, an occurrence, or a state of being. It is not a noun. A noun is a person, place, or thing. It is a crucial part of speech that indicates what is happening in a sentence, right? So when he says Eyeh, he's saying what is happening is that I existed, past tense, okay? These words describe physical and mental actions that someone or something perform. Examples include run, think, build, write, dream. These verbs describe a state of existence or conditions. Examples include is, are, was, were, become, and seem. That's why he says I will be what I will be. Okay? These verbs describe events or happenings. Examples include happen, become, or occur. The existence of verbs are the core of a sentence, providing the action or state that the subject is involved in. Almost every sentence requires a verb to be grammatically correct. Right? Now, okay. What are some common puns used? I spelled that wrong. Puns. Right. One common pun is the Nile is not just a river in Egypt. Right. It's things like that, right? Puns are also called paronomasia, and they're often used in jokes and comedy and can make more text engaging, right? So a pun is like the Nile is more than a river in Egypt, right? That would be an example of a pun. Let me see here, because I had it on my phone. Let's see. But that's an example of one of them. You know, the Nile is more than just a river in Egypt. That would be an example of a common day pun being used. So when the Most High said Yhwh, he was using a pun saying that, okay? Now, A paronomasia is a literary device where words with similar sounds or roots are used to convey deeper, often layered meanings in Hebrew. Hebrew being a root-based language is especially rich for this kind of wordplay because many words stem from the same three-letter root, and it does. That's why it has different definitions up under it, depending on the stem. So one word can echo another in sound and meaning, creating poetic, prophetic, and theological connection, right? So the pun in here lies with Yhwh referring to himself as Eyeh, I am, while Israel is to refer to himself as Yahweh, he is, creating a deeply relational and reverent linguistic play that ties identity, existence, and covenant all into one name, right? Okay, and so now, before we go into the verses and I show you, I'm going to pull up some of the Brown Driver Briggs, okay? Hold on, not that one. Right, so we have here Brown Driver Briggs, right? Hayah, right? And this is some of the cognates and synonyms right here that comes from it. Now, as you can see, all these verses right here are being used right here, and it's all past tense where Hayah is being used. Genesis 1 and 2 and 3, 1, 2, 3, 5, 29, 2 and 10, and we're going to go over some of these, right? And the earth was Hayah without form. Hayah, let there be light. Let there be light, and there Hayah was light. Hayati was light. And Hayit became evening, right? Exodus 3:14, I am that I am. I am that I am. Exodus 3:21, and it shall come to pass. Leviticus, and there shall be 7 days, all right? Past tense, you're using the past tense, all right? So it is not the Most High's name. It is a verb. It is a noun, and it is past tense, right? Let's go right here. See what it says, okay? Hayah is the basic Hebrew word for being, and it can be translated to be, to become, to exist, to happen, and to have. Occurring over 3,500 times, it is the second most common verb, not noun, not person, place, or thing, but second common most action verb in the Old Testament. The verb occurs more in Ezekiel than any other book, and it is more frequent in narrative than in poetic text. All these occurrences are in the Caues stem, the simplest form, except for the 21 times which Hayah appears in the Nifal. The verb is related in form and usage to the Hebrew word Hawah, and the Aramaic verb of the same root. Phonetically, the Akkadian Yhwh is equivalent to Hayah, although it differs in meaning. The Akkadian word for to be is bashu. Although Hayah is the Hebrew word for being, it is rarely used to denote existence. Verbless clauses along with yesh and ayin clauses are usually used for this purpose, right? So it won't say Hayah for being, it'll say yesh, right? It'll say yesh. Since verbless clauses are less common in English, the linking verb has to be supplied by the translator, right? So if you don't know the grammar, you don't know that, you wouldn't know this. Hayah is used to specify ambiguously the tense, mood, or aspect in clauses which normally would not require a verb. For example, in the creation account, the perfect of Hayah is used to form that the creation happened in the past. That's why I say Hayah is past tense verb. The earth was without form and void, Genesis 1 and 2. Historical narration often employs Hayah when it could be omitted. In the account of the fall, Hayah is used to show that the narrative took place in the past. Now the serpent was more subtle than other living creature of the field, Genesis 3 and 1. Gnomic sayings often supply the linking verb when it could be omitted. The infinitive construct of Hayah is used in the Lord's statement, it is not good that man should be alone. Right? So the infinitive construct of Hayah is used in Genesis 2 and 18. Hayah is often used with a participle or infinitive to denote repeated or continuous action because it's a verb, right? This construction is used to describe the circumstances of the Lord's rout of the Philistines as Samuel was offered up the burnt offering. The Lord thundered, 1 Samuel 7 and 10. Sometimes Hayah means to become. The end of God's first day of creation is described with the words, and it became evening, Genesis 1 and 5. Adam named his wife Eve because she became the mother of all living, Genesis 3 and 20, right? As a result of David's victory in the Valley of Salt, the Edomites became his servants. All right, 2 Samuel 8 and 14. Hayah is often used to relate that something happened or took place because it's a past tense verb. The Philistines spoke of the punishment of the Lord as something that happened to them. A messenger told Eli a great slaughter has taken place in Israel. Israel's battle with the Philistines, 1 Samuel 4 and 17. When a messenger from the battle in which Saul died brought news, David asked, how did it go? 2 Samuel 1 and 4. The verb often occurs in the imperfect with the Vav consecutive wahi, meaning and it was, still past tense, or it came to pass, still past tense. Right? So that's what wahi means. It was, or it came to pass. The temporal idea is often expressed with various prepositions, right? And what did he say? What did he say about the prepositions that I told him? What did he say? Certain consonants serve as prepositions, right? No, they do not. That comes before later after a different race, tribe, and nation stole our books, which is a lie. And I've done this videos on this. Go watch the video. Canaanite script had vowels. Okay, that's all you have to do. Now back to this. Various prepositions. The preposition kaf is used in the account of Abraham's trip to Egypt. And it came to pass when Abraham entered Egypt, Genesis 12 and 14. A similar idea of time is expressed with the bet preposition. And it came to pass that they were in the field. Cain rose against Abel, Genesis 4 and 8. Right? And you have a vav proposition can also be used such as, and it came about in the course of days, 1 Samuel 1 and 20. In the account of Jephthah, min is used with wahi. So min wahi to express the passage of time. And it came to pass in the passage of days. Min wahi, that's what that means. Judges 11:4, Ka'asher, Nehemiah 3 and 33, Ki in Exodus 3 and 21, Akhar in Genesis 22 and 20, Adah in 1 Samuel 14 and 19 are also commonly used with Hayah. In many cases, wahi is used to introduce a circumstantial clause in conjunction with a clause introduced by hane, behold, right? So wahi hane, right? For example, in Genesis 24 and 14, the clause introduced by wahi relates the circumstances to the following clause. And it came to pass before he had done speaking that, behold, Rebekah came out. Right? So that wahi, that form of hayah, is attached to that clause, right? To show that it came to pass, that it was past tense, that the narrator is telling the story. Hayah can be used with a vowel to show possession. In number 5 and 10 reads, the holy things that every man shall be his. That vav indicates the possession, right? The vav preposition or conjunction represents possession. Ezekiel 35 and 10 reads, these two nations and these two countries shall be mine. Literally, the verse reads, these two nations shall be to me. In these sentences, the subject is marked by the direct object marker, which the direct object marker is et, the olive and the tav. Prophetic discourse often uses hayah to show that the prophetic message came from the Lord. The word of the Lord came to Samuel, 1 Samuel 15 and 10, Ezekiel 3:16, Hosea 1 and 1, Micah 1 and 1, and many others. That's how you know that it's the Most High speaking, because it says explicitly the word of the Lord came, right? The nefal stem is used by Hayah only a few times in the Old Testament. The most common use for this stem is to note that something has been done. The writer of Judges comments, there was no such deed done nor seen from the day of the children of Israel came out of the land of Egypt. Judges 19 and 30. When Nathan inquired of David, who had commanded that Adonijah could succeed the throne, he asked if the deed had been done by David. 1 Kings 1 and 27. Hayah and the nifal can be used to denote that something has occurred. Daniel was told of future distress which had not happened since there was a nation. Daniel 12 and 1. Joel spoke of an army greater than any other that ever was. Joel 2 and 2. The most prominent use of Hayah in the Old Testament is its use of the Lord's revelation of his name in Moses' Exodus 3:14. When Moses asked the Lord whom he shall say has sent him to deliver Israel from Egypt to the Lord, the Lord said, I am who I am, verse 14. And tell them, Yahweh, the God of your fathers, has sent you. Verse 15, and that's exactly what it says, right? And we're going to go over that. This is ongoing controversy about how to translate Eyeh Asher Eyeh, but the passage clearly teaches that the Lord is essential to the existence of his people. The name Yahweh comes from the same root as Hayah, which is the most essential word of the Hebrew language. The idea of being is the essential idea of every language. The name Yahweh is part of that revelation that the Lord is essential to the very existence of his people. Right? Okay, now let's go into. So remember, I gave him all this right here in brotherly love, but he responded back not in brotherly love. So again, Hayah is a verb, right? And just for those that don't know, a verb, a verb is a person, place, or a verb is describes an action, right? So Hayah is describing this action to be, to exist, to become, to come into being, to happen, to occur. It is not the name. It is not a noun, person, place, or thing. All right. So now let is go. I already showed you it is a pun. One of the puns is the Nile is not just a river in Egypt. Okay. So that is an example of a common day pun. Now we read in the photo Genesis 1:22. So here is a conjugate of the word Hayah 1961. Hayatah was past tense, and it's in the perfect, right? Perfect means that it's completed, so it's past tense, right? Feminine. Third person, feminine singular. Hayeta, right? Genesis 1:2. Now, we have Genesis 1:3, right? We have Yhwh, right? 1961. Same one, 1961. And let there be, right? This one's imperfect because it's not a completed action. And it also is a jussive, right? So what is a jussive? Let's look it up. I know what it is, but I want you to look it up so you know that I'm not lying. A jussive is expressing a command, right? So it is a jussive. So right here, Genesis 1:3 is expressing the command Yhwh, right? Wayamer elachim yachi or wachi or, right? And there was, we have it twice. Wachi yachi, two conjugations of it. Right here, you have a cause stem imperfect jussive, third masculine singular, and then right here, and there was, you have a conjugated, a vav conjugate right here with the vav, okay, with the A class vowel underneath it, and you have the verb hayah, you know what I'm saying, conjugate of it, which is a cause still consecutive imperfect, third person masculine singular, wachi, just like it said right here when we were reading. What does it say? Wachi. Introduce circumstantial clause in a conjunction when a clause is introduced, right? Exactly. The exact same thing. Wachi, right? Yachi, you have yachi in the imperfect, and then you have wahi in the consecutive imperfect. Both 1961. So are you saying that these right here are describing an action, right? It's not a noun, describing an action. There was, there be. We went back here to Genesis 1:2. Hayeta, right? The perfect third feminine singular. And was describe the action, right? Not a noun. Okay. Next, we're going to go to Ezekiel 16:15, right? Ezekiel 16:15, right? And let's see here. Where are we at? Down here. Yachi, again, cause them imperfect jussive, right? Describing an action, a command, an action, right? Who would be it? Who would become it, right? 1961, right? Hayah, from the root word Hayah, 1961. Now, we're going to go here, Deuteronomy 5:5, right? Hayita, right? Wezakata ki ebed hayita, but arez mezarim. Wezakata ki ebed hayita, but arez ma'azarim, right? And remember that a slave you were in the land of Egypt. You were, past tense, perfect, right? Second masculine singular, hayita, right? Has the tav with the aleph, tav with the A class vowel. 1961, right? Hayah, right? What does it say right here? 1961. Hayah, verb. Come on now. Don't be starting on me. And what does he have on his video? H1961, the name. It's not a noun. It's a verb. Right? Where we at? Where we go? Come on. Oh, he erased it. Okay, Hayah. 1961 Hayah. Hayah, right? Let's click on it. Internet freezing up a little bit. 1961. Hayeta, right? We're not finished because we're going to actually go into Exodus 3:15, and we're going to go into Exodus 3:14. Okay, as soon as my internet quit tripping on me. All right, so Deuteronomy 24:18, right? Right? Right here, yeah, Hayeta, like I said, Hayeta, you were, past tense. Caues them, perfect, second masculine singular. Okay, Deuteronomy 10:9, right? Hayatim, Hayatim, right? Plural now. Now we have it in the plural, because why we have the mem right there. Masculine plural, second masculine plural. Perfect, right? You were. Wahahaptim et hagaraki garim haatem parares misarim. Wahatim et hadgar ki garim haatem baares matarim misarim. Therefore, love the stranger, for strangers you were in the land of Egypt. You were, past tense, 1961. Hayatim, perfect, cause them, second masculine plural. Okay? Now, Leviticus 19:34. Okay? 19:34. We have Yhwh, shall be, right? Ke Ezra, Makim, Yayi, Lakim, Hagar, right? Had God, right? And you see right here, you would think it's the same word, but you have an A class vowel, you have an E class vowel. Had a God, right? Same one, same triconsonantal root, right? Hey, gamo, resh, hey, gamo, resh, right? But the vowels are different right here than right here. So you get Hagar, stranger, Hadgar, who dwells, right? But we're talking about Yhwh, 1961, right? A conjugate calls them imperfect third person masculine singular, shall be, right? Past tense, still. Exodus 20:2. Now, Deuteronomy 19:15 says 2 or 3 witnesses to establish the matter. I think I more than well than established the matter, but we're going to keep going because I want to finish my video. Make sure all these go and get them. Alright, well, Exodus 22 don't want to pop up. We're going to go to Joshua 6:17. Okay, we can get this to work. Let's see. Well, you got right here, right? You got a third person masculine, a third person feminine singular with a verb conjugate, perfect, right? 1961, Hayah, Wehayeta, and shall be, past tense. So if this is the Most High's name, why is it not a noun? Why is it a verb? Everywhere it's used as a verb. Deuteronomy 18:13, Tiyeh, you shall be, right? Past tense. Call imperfect second masculine singular. Tamim, Tayi, Im, Yhwh, Elahaka, right? Elahaka, right? Your God. Blameless you shall be before Yahweh your God. Right? The Most High's name, and you notice right here. See where it says Yahweh 3068, noun, proper, masculine, singular, noun, because a noun is a person, place, or thing. Right? Hayah is a verb. Okay? Now, go ahead and get to this Exodus 3:14 and into Joshua 1:5 and into Exodus 6:3, okay? I'm going to show you the same conjugate of Hayah being used in Exodus 3:14, right? So we have 1961, Eyeh, right? I am, right? Eyeh Asher Eyeh. I am who I am, right? Eyeh, 1961. I'm going to show you the same conjugate right here. Joshua right here. Joshua 1:5. What does he say right there? 1961, a conjugate of Hayah. Hayeti, I was, past tense. Hayeti, im, Moshe, Eyeh, imak. Right? I was with Moses, so I will be with you. Eyeh, 1961. Qual, imperfect, first person, common singular. Exodus 3:14. 1961, Eyeh, I am. Qual imperfect first person singular construct. Why do they say I am right here? And right here it says I will be. It says I will be. Right? I will be. So does it make sense when you say Hayah, Hayah, I will be, I will be, I exist, I exist? You're not saying anything. You're not even, I mean, and it's due to your ignorance of the grammar, but you don't receive the correction. Exodus 6 and 3. Where else? Where are we using it at? Let me see. There's plenty other places where Eyeh is used too. You have Genesis. Genesis. Let me see here. Hold on. No, hold on. Where? I'm a little thrown off now. Now look, I can click on this right here and show you everywhere that word Eyeh is being used. Exodus 3 and 12. Eyeh, become you. Exodus 3, 3:14, of course. Exodus 4 and 14. Go, I become. Become. Have been. Become. Have been. Become. I am. Job. Let's look at Job 17 and 6. And I am. Eyeh. I have become. Right? It's the exact same conjugate, same word, same vowel structure as Exodus 3:14. So you mean to tell me that this verb is the Most High's name who is sacred? And I tried to tell the brother, and I'm trying to show him, lead him along the right path. But his pride and arrogance, won't let him. Pride, he know nobody's teaching the things that he teaches or uses the tools that he uses, right? And let's look at some of the tools that he uses, right? This is Exodus 3:14, right? Asher, it says Hayah. It doesn't say Eyeh. It doesn't tell you the conjugate of the verb. It doesn't tell you the stem form. It doesn't tell you if it's masculine, feminine, none of that. To exist, to be. Always emphatic. Beacon, all together. Why does it have all these definitions, bro? So how did you pick and choose which definition that it was if you don't know the grammar? You don't know how to conjugate the verbs. But again, you said nobody uses the tools that you use. Again, right here, where it says, Lord, the Lord God of your fathers, the God of Abraham and Isaac, the God of Jacob have sent me. That's not what it says there. Okay? Now, right, it'll say Lord. It'll say Yhwh. Come on, man. Gotta get some more memory. Now, what does the Exodus 3 and 15 say in the Hebrew? Right? What does it say? Wayamer Asher. Right? Wayamer Od Elohim El Moshe Ko Tomot El Bani Israel Yhwh Elohi. That's the other word, Elohi in singular. Elohim, it comes from 430 Elohim, not 433 Eloah, which is feminine, right? Elohi, the singular plural, singular masculine plural. Elohi, Abatekem, Elohi, there it is again. Abraham, Elohi, there it is a third time, masculine singular, right? Because he said that Eloah, I was wrong. Yitzhak Welohi Yakab Selachani Yakem Zeh. Semi le olam weze sekri le door. Le door, right? Now we have right here, Most High says this is his name right here. And what does that translate to? And said, moreover, Elohim, Elohi, to Moshe, Kol Tomar, you shall say, El Bani Israel, to the sons of Israel, Yhwh, Yahweh, Elohi, Abotekem, Elohi, Abraham, Elohi, Yitzhak, Elohi, Yaakov, Salahani Akim Ze, Sami Le Olam, Weze Zakri Le Do. Right? That's what he said. You shall say to the sons of Israel, Yahweh, God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, has sent me to you. This is my name. This is my memorial to all generations. He says the verb Hayah is the name and the memorial to all generations. Right? He says the tools that he uses are, nobody's bringing out the things that he's bringing out, and this and that, and etc. The arrogance and the pride. Exodus 3:15, I showed you, it says Yahweh. And right here, what does it say? Lord, what does it say? It says Jehovah, right? And it's not Jehovah, because Jehovah is the title, man. It's Yahweh, okay? The actual name is a noun. H1961, the name given to Moses. This is my name for forever, my memorial unto all generations. Right? Yet, the Most High said his name is Yahweh. Yahweh. Okay? I showed you in the tools that he uses that it's going to say Jehovah, Lord. If you go to the English Bible, right? You go to the English KJV, Exodus 3:15. It's going to say the Lord, this and that. It's not going to have the Most High's name there. And God said, moreover unto Moses, thou shalt say unto the children of Israel, the Lord God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, has sent me unto you. This is my name for forever. Compared to this right here. Wayamar od Elohim El Moshe Ko Tomar El Bani Israel Yahweh Elohi Abatekem Elohi Abraham Elohi Yitzhak Elohi Jacob Salahani Alakim Ze Semi Le Olam Weze Zikri Le Dor. My name is Yahweh. Yahweh. This is my name forever, and this is my memorial to all generations. Thus shall you say to the children of Israel. Okay? Now, brother, I know you're not going to watch this video because the other video that I posted, you didn't watch, you erased it off your channel, and etc. And which is fine. But for those that are watching, man, I hope I was able to edify you. I hope I was able to bring some clearness to you. And as soon as this starts, I want to close out with Proverbs 16. Okay? Proverbs 16:5. Everyone that is proud in heart is an abomination to the Lord. Though hand join in hand, he shall not be unpunished. Verse 18. Pride go before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Better it is to be of a humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the proud. Okay? And brother, you were very proud on these comments. You know what I'm saying? On these comments of this video. This is not the name of the Most High. This right here is an action. It's a verb. It is not a noun. And look at your responses. Very, very haughty and prideful. No, they do not. That comes after a different race, tribe, nation stole our books, which is just a lie. Because we can go into the Aramaic and everything. I've already put up videos proving that we borrowed a lot of things from the Aramaic. And that was one of them, prepositions and vowels. I just proved in this video that aloha, and in the other prior video that it is feminine, that everything I said here is correct. And his prideful response was to make your own video, show your evidence. I told him I had already plenty of them to check him out. That's what we do. And I made another comment and posted a video, which he deleted. I said right here, the Strong's Concordance, I will not use it. And in the prior video, I showed that why the Strong Concordance is lacking or inferior to the Brown Driver Briggs. And I did that the last video, okay? And the reason why I did that was because of this prideful and haughty response. Well, seeing as I don't believe anyone explains things like I do, okay, so he's special. The tools that I use are somewhat unique, which I just showed you that the tools that he used are not unique, that they're lacking tremendously. I will continue to use those tools, okay? Well, that's your prerogative. My thing is, I told you, now I'm making the video showing you. I hope that you watch this video, but you probably won't, because you already erased one of the videos that I showed you, that I posted anyway for you up here, okay? So everything that I do, we do by Deuteronomy 19:15, 2 or 3 witnesses, which is why nobody wants to debate or nobody can really refute what I'm saying. Okay, so I think that we have thoroughly covered this topic and beat this down. Okay, and beat this down. Right, and here's just before you don't know, there's another conjugation of Hayah and Yhwh, past tense. Right, 1961. Yhwh. So the brother does not know what he's talking about, and I hope he humbles himself and decides to learn the language before he starts to go and try to teach and tell people what's what and what's not, because he's leading people astray. He's leading people to worship, to call on something that doesn't exist, doesn't make sense. Hayah is an action. I be is not the Most High's name. I exist is not the Most High's name, because you're saying it in the first person. Okay? The English grammar says that. This is why it's important to learn the Hebrew grammar. All right, so leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think of the video. And, if you feel like I'm wrong, leave a comment below and let me know. Tell me where I'm wrong, get pointed out. And but just don't be just saying any words. Come with the Hebrew, come with the grammar, and point it out and show that I'm wrong. Okay, do what I did. I went into the grammar. I went into everything. Do what I did. All right. Until the next video. Shalom, shalom.
Sing unto Yahweh a new song. Sing unto Yahweh, let all the earth call. Bless his name and show forth his salvation from day to day. Declare his glory amongst the heathens and wonder amongst the people. Every morning and evening I give him praise. The false gods are vain by the Most High. The skies was made, nothing new under the sun. Yeah, these times don't change. I guide my steps, direct and devise my ways. Honor and majesty my Yah retain. Beauty is in the sanctuary amongst the saints. Give Yah glory and strength. Search far and wide across the 7 seas for a sign, but never seen a God alive like Yah, my Elohim.